Hey everyone, William from MyCar.Repair here, and today we're going to be doing an engine oil change on this Porsche Boxter 981 with a 2.7 engine from 2013. It's got a 6-cylinder MA 1.22 Boxster engine, and this model was manufactured between 2012 to 2016. Okay, in order to do this job, we're going to need a couple of tools. First of all, we're going to need a 74mm oil filter wrench, and this is going to be required to remove the oil filter housing. And then we're going to need a 10mm socket to get under the car and remove the drain plug to let all the oil drain out. Okay, for this engine oil change, we'll use our favourite engine oil for this car, the Liquid Moly Light Loud High-Tech 5W40, which is tested and approved by Porsche for the Porsche A40 standard. This engine oil is a synthetic, low friction motor oil and has many unique characteristics. It's very good for the sporty driver as it has a good viscosity at high engine temperatures, a high flash point of 232 degrees Celsius, and is ideal for long oil change intervals. We did not choose the 0W40, which is often recommended for this engine. The 0W40 is good for the first 3 to 5 years, but since this car is not new anymore, the 5W40 is better choice due to this oil being a bit thicker. Oil consumption will be lower and the oil will be more stable until the end of the oil change interval. The Light Loud High-Tech 5W40 also has a good additive package that helps higher mileage car. The car needs 7.5 litres, so we're going to use a 5 litre and 2 1 litres, and we're going to use 600 ml of additives. The oil filter is a German OEM Marley OX366D together with the O-rings. To make the oil change perfect, we'll use a few more products that are not mandatory but definitely will get the best performance out of the engine. The Liquid Moly Engine Flush Plus, we're going to pour into the engine, leave it running idle 15 minutes, and that's going to clean your engine and get all the gunk and the sludge out. Then we're going to be using Liquid Moly Motor Oil Saver, and this is going to regenerate and expand the engine sealants for better compression ratio, since the car is not the newest anymore. Furthermore, we want to protect the engine with a ceramic coating oil, and this additive is Ceratec, and this is going to help with less friction, less engine heat and lower fuel consumption. So let's get started. So as you can see, I've turned the car around. The reason being is with the Porsche, the engine's located at the rear and you put the oil into the car at the rear. So if I just undo the oil cap here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding the Engine Flush Plus. Now this acts like as a soap and it breaks down all the old oil and removes all the sludge and all the gunk from the engine. It's really important that we put the new oil, the new high quality oil, into a clean engine, otherwise we lessen the quality of it immediately. So now the engine flush is in the car, we've just got to start the car and leave it running for 15 minutes. So now the car's running, we'll do a few simple checks like check the air pressure, the tyres, the windscreen wipers, the windscreen wiper fluid, and we'll just have a general look around the car. Now that the time is finished, what we'll do is we'll turn the engine off and put the car up on the jack. As you can see, we're using a proper workshop lift here. So if you're doing this at home and you're jacking the car up, please make sure you use it in a safe manner so it doesn't come down. What we're going to start doing now is we're going to be taking the oil filter off. Oil filter is located just up here, and then we're going to drain the oil out, which I'm going to undo the screw here, and this plug will come out releasing the oil. So we'll start by removing the plug to release the oil from the car. It's going to start dripping out, and then not quite done yet. And we'll just do the last bit by hand, keeping some pressure on there. And there we go. Okay, as you can see, we've drained all the oil out. There's still a little bit dripping off. So what we'll do is we'll give it a clean. First of all, I'll take the oil off with a towel, and then we'll use the Liquid Moly brake and parts cleaner. We'll give that a spray. Just wipe it all off. And what we'll do is we'll give the plug a spray as well, so that's clean. If you're experienced at doing this, you'll know the correct pressure to apply. If you're not, then you can check the manual. We've already got a copper crush on there. I'll do the first bit by hand, and then we'll use the socket to finish the job off. Important thing is not to do too tight, but also it's got to be tight enough. And I think that's the correct amount of pressure. We'll just finish off giving it a clean. So now that's done. So the next thing we need to do is change the oil filter. The oil filter is located up here underneath the car in the Boxster. Got to be careful and gentle to take it off, so we don't want to damage the housing to it. So take your time doing this bit and make sure it comes off nice and smoothly. There's also going to be some oil on it as well, so what we don't want to do is let the oil drop everywhere. So just keep going. Okay, so we've got to be careful with this bit. Okay, so we've got to take it out really slowly because there's quite often some excess oil there. So we'll just pour that out. Take out the old oil filter. And what you'll notice on here is we've got an O-ring here that we're going to remove and replace with a new O-ring. So let's put that down there and open up the new oil filter. And there's our new O-ring that we're going to replace it with. So what we're going to do is we're going to prise off the old O-ring. Leave that in there. And the best thing to do when you put the new one on is take some new oil that we're going to be using, and then just put a seal of new oil, clean oil around here. Put in a new O-ring on so that that'll go on nice and tightly and firm, and it's got the seal on it from the oil. Place the new filter in, and then we'll put the filter back up into the car. So now we're just going to put the oil filter housing back into where it come from. This is a little bit tricky. There's not a lot of room here. There it goes, that's in there. So that's that changed. So now we've finished under the car. I'll bring the car down and I'll show you how to add all the additives and all the oil to the back of the car. Okay, let's pour some high quality engine oil into this Porsche Boxster. This Liquid Moly Light Valve High-Tech 5W40 with the Porsche A40 approval is perfect for this car. In fact, Liquid Moly and Porsche are made from the same province in Germany. Maybe that's why they go so well together. So, now we're ready to put the oil in the car. Let's get the back of the car open. As you can see, we're not pouring it into a dirty engine, so we've got to be careful here not to get oil on the car. Make sure there's nothing coming off there. And we'll gently pour it in. We are now going to pour the Liquid Moly Motor Oil Saver into the engine. The Motor Oil Saver will expand the rubber sealants over the next few hundred kilometres. It will reduce oil evaporation and improve the compression in the engine. The Liquid Moly Light Valve High-Tech 5W40 already contains some of this, so it's not crucial that your engine needs this, but we think this is a quality product that should be added to the engine. This is the Liquid Moly Ceratec. It's a really good ceramic engine coating additive. It protects the engine by reducing heat and friction. You can also pour it into the engine in the middle of an oil change interval and use it as a top-up. Most drivers quickly feel the difference when using this little magic product. First we give it a shake and then pour it into the engine. It's always important to consider how much additives you're putting into your oil, because you're gonna have to deduct it from the amount of required volume of oil. So we need 7.5 litres in this. We already put 500 litres, and now we're gonna put 600 litres of additives and check where we're at. So now the important thing with Ceratec is that you give it a really good shake before you put it into the car. And as you can see, it's a ceramic coating and it's the colour of ceramic. Now we're going to add another litre of oil, and what we'll do is we'll get the car running, get the oil circulating, and then check the levels on the electronic dipstick so we know how much more oil to pour in. Now we're ready to check the electronic dipsticks inside. So we've checked the electronic dipstick and we're about 0.9 of a litre short, which is right. And as you can see, we've got marks down the side with the bottle. So we're going to pour 0.9 of a litre in. So just remove the cap, put the funnel back in, and we're going to pour nearly a litre in. And we'll double check again, but that should now be the right. So we've completed the engine change, we've turned the engine on, we're listening for any loud metallic noises on the engine startup or any noises that were there which weren't there before. After that, we're going to drive the car around the block a few times, check the temperature, check that it's driving okay, and then we're going to bring it back in. We're going to reset all the computers and all the timers and make sure everything's in the right condition. With an engine full of fresh oil and a new filter keeping it clean, your Porsche is ready for another 2 years or 15,000 kilometers of carefree driving. Okay, so that's it. We've wrapped up the oil change in a Porsche Boxster. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below or contact us. If you've got any problems with your car or anything, please contact us, subscribe us, and thanks for watching.